Yo, what's up, y'all? Greg here. Let's talk about all the cuts that Trump's doing right now, or Elon, or whoever's doing it. But the cuts are happening. Will it affect you as a healthcare provider? That's what I want to talk about on today's video. As always, thank you guys for rocking with me. And listen, we've been putting some fire videos on this channel. My channel, I don't know if you guys know this, my channel got shut down. I had 13,000 subscribers on it. I started that channel in 2015. And somebody hacked into my account, started trying to sell some crypto stuff on it, and YouTube never gave me back the account. So I've decided to redo the account, and even though I had all the videos that I've had on the account before, everything has changed so much in healthcare since then that I'm like, nah, let's talk about relevant things right now. So what's going on right now? Right now, Trump is cutting like crazy. Trump, Elon, and the boys are cutting. They are cutting so many federal programs. They're cutting Medicaid. They're cutting many different things. The question is, will it affect you? Well, it's going to affect you. Let's just talk about how. I think on this video, what I really want to talk about is, I want to kind of just walk through it, right? Because I think for everybody, it's going to be a different situation. I think for some, it's going to be extremely positive. For some, it's devastating. I think what you must understand and what you must take away from this is understanding the law of polarity. Okay, the law of polarity basically states that for every reaction, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, and so let's talk about it, all right? Okay, now, I'm not gonna, try to act like I know exactly what's going on in his head, that I know what's going on in Elon's head, or whoever's really running this whole dog and pony show. I don't know for sure. But from my little pea brain, here's what I believe, and this is kind of going to be my take on it. I'm assuming that Trump, who is very entrepreneurial driven, who is a rich man that is backed by very rich friends and supports a party that doesn't like a lot of government involvement, wants to bring down the amount of expenses, wants to have as small of as government as possible, and bring down as many expenses and take out as much waste, if you want to call it, expenses that they don't feel like are credited or that are valid from the government, so that the government doesn't need as much funding from either him or from us, the normal folk. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's just for him and just for his rich buddies, or it's for all of us. We don't know that yet. To be continued. We'll find out, okay? But what I can tell you is this, is that I know that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I know that today, there are people that are in certain healthcare spaces that are run government-based. And even if their department hasn't been cut, a lot of people are already making cuts. I've heard it from many people. They're making cuts already because they know it's coming. Okay, so they're trying to make the cuts before they even happen. I know that there's some departments, whether it's the Department of Education, Department of Parks and Recreation, there's so many departments that their jobs, their entire department in the government has been released, it's gone. And so it sucks for them. It's a negative reaction for them. The positive could be for you. The positive could be for you if this ends up saying, hey, the government doesn't need as much of your money, so we're not going to charge you as much in property taxes. If that happens, that could be a positive for you if you own property. If you don't own property, you're like, crap, this sucks. This didn't help me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that could be the case. If they decide, hey, you know what, federal tax-wise, from what we take out of your paychecks, we're going to take out a lot less now than what we were taking out before. That could be a positive for all of us, right? So we don't know. We really don't know. But what I can tell you is you must understand the law of polarity. And the law of polarity states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, okay? So here's my thing to you. Here's what I do know. What I do know is that even that park ranger, those 4,300 park rangers that lost their jobs, all of those people, those hundreds of thousands of people in the Department of Education that are losing their jobs, whether directly or indirectly, all those people, what I do know is this. I do know that they are not going to have as much income. They're not. Right now, they're fighting for their lifestyle right now, right? Because they've lost their streams of income. What I also do know is I know that what they are good at, those jobs, at least for the time being, are not going to be available. So I know that there's a good chunk of people, especially with what's going on with the tariffs, what's going on with the cuts, that are not going to have the disposable income that they had before. So what does that mean for me and you as healthcare providers? I know that people that before that would come to a traditional healthcare practice and they would spend maybe a disposable income of $100 a week, maybe it's $25 to $35 per visit. I know that that is not going to be as easy for people anymore. I know that. I know that those people, if they have a health problem, whether it's their knee is acting up or their shoulder or this, I know that those people are still going to need some type of help from us, but I know that they might not be able to afford it in those ways that they could afford it before. For those of you that are cash-based, I know that a lot of those people that were paying you $150, $200, $250, $300, $350 a session are not going to be able to do it anymore, okay? Guys, it's called trickle-down economics, okay? Meaning that it will eventually trickle down to every single one of us. All right. So yes, the Department of Education you might not have got your job cut, but eventually it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you because it's gonna be your patient, or your patient is the small business owner of a local shop, and that local shop had a lot of customers that were those people. And now that local shop's business is being hurt, so that local shop is not making as much money, and that person doesn't have the disposable income to come and see you. It's trickle-down economics. Eventually, the reaction will hit you. So what do? Well, here's what I foresee happening. How I foresee it hurting us is I believe that within the next year and a half, there's going to be less disposable income that people are going to allot to healthcare. People are still going to have the problems. I don't believe health problems are going to go away. People aren't just going to be in a bubble inside their house so that their shoulder can't hurt them or this or that or whatever. They're still going to have problems. The big thing is they're just not going to have the income to be able to solve those problems in the way that they were solving them before. So I believe that over the next 12 to 24 months, there's going to be an uptick in people wanting low price, high volume offers. What's that? Well, that's stuff that costs $50 to $100 per month or less. That's what that is. $50 to $100 a month or less to be able to get the solutions that they need for the problems that they have. My question to you is, do you have a way that you're doing that right now? If you said yes, fantastic. It's probably in your best interest to start to double down on that. Try to get that out to as many people so that people know that there's an alternative to the way that they were doing things before. I think most healthcare providers won't see it. Most healthcare providers are so resistant to coming up with new solutions because the reality is that we don't have to. We don't have to until we have to. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's going to happen. I think if you don't have that in place, I think it's in your best interest to start to figure out how can I help people in a way that is going to allow them to be able to get some type of value from me. Might not mean me physically placing my hands on them, but they're going to get some value. And how can I do that and help people without them having to pay what they used to pay me? They're not going to get as much access to me, but they're going to still get a very similar result, just in a different format. And I'm going to do it in a low price model, but I'm going to do it in a very high volume model to where, okay, it's not me seeing 6 or 8 clients a day. Maybe I have 80 to 200 people in this low price, high volume model, but I'll still be making the same amount, just doing it in a different format. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think is going to continue to happen with the cuts that Trump and his administration have done and will continue to do. I believe that we are going to see a government that is about 25% of what it is today over the next 3 to 4 years. That's what I think we're going to see. And I think that eventually it's going to benefit, obviously, Trump and his posse the most, so that when he leaves office, it still carries on with his kids, etc. I think many of you will be able to benefit from it. Most of you probably won't. But what I will tell you is that the law of polarity is happening regardless. So keep those things in mind. I hope that brought you value. If you don't have a low price, high volume solution set up, I would highly advise you to do that sooner rather than later. And if you want to get started with that, I'll give you access to the software that we use to create low price, high volume products and offers. I'll just give it to you for free for a few months just to kind of get you going with it. So if you want that, then you can text Software Sprint to 813-534-6453. All right. Anyways, I hope that helps you. I hope that blesses you. I hope you guys found value in it. Till next time.